everyone, I'm Kailee with Renat again, and this time we're interviewing Sruthi. Oh.
I just want to introduce Shruti. Shruti is the girl, okay, who made like short movies, which is 25 minutes long. Okay, we made mini doc. We made a mini doc which is supposed to be 5 minutes. She made it 10 minutes long. Then we did like a documentary which is supposed to be 7 to 12 minutes. She made it 16 minutes. Then narrative supposed to be up to 12 minutes, and she made it 25 minutes first cut.
That's how I roll, okay? Like, and no one can say anything about it to me. Yeah, no, I go overboard. I tend to go overboard. People who know me know that. So yeah, there you go.
So tell us more about your movies.
Right. So, which one? You can both like start with one movie and then talk about it. So I'll start with my documentary. So I made 2 films here in Amsterdam. So the first one's called The Thing with Feathers. The poster's right up there. And it's a documentary about a group of refugee women here in London, Ontario, and a local company called Skilled Accents. And the owner of Skilled Accents, Kay, she's employed these refugee women despite them not having the correct qualifications or having the language qualifications required to work here in Canada. So through this documentary, I wanted to delve a little bit into their past, see where they're coming from, and how they're adapting to their life here in Canada. I just wanted to tell the truth in a creative way, and hopefully I've been able to do that. So that's The Thing with Feathers. And again, shout out to my crew, amazing crew, and also I must mention here that the women, the subjects, I had amazing subjects, and I'll share a memory with you later, which is amazing. So the second film that I have is called Unwritten. It's a short narrative. It's about a once professional musician who has given up on writing music and making music because of a personal tragedy. Or rather, she hasn't given up. She's about to throw in the towel, but she decides to give it one last chance. And she goes out for a walk in the winter cold and kind of taking a walk down memory lane of sorts and look for inspiration to write a new song and hopefully reignite her passion. Cool. So how did you come up with the idea for both of them? The Thing with Feathers was I've done journalism before, and the way I used to look for news stories was going through like what news channels were saying and what was and all community stories basically. I like looking for community stories, human interest stories, and I came across a story about Kay in CBC that CBC had done, and so I was inclined to contact her, and because I knew there was a story behind that, and yeah, that's how it came about. The whole thing with the Thing with Feathers, basically, and it went from there. Doing research, pre-interviews, and all that. And Unwritten was it was actually the last script I wrote. We were supposed to write like a couple of scripts for that that Adam, our professor, would read, and like he would greenlit one of them. But then I had like a couple of comedy scripts here and there. But then this one, I just wrote what came to my head, and it came from a very personal space. And I think it was the quickest script that I've written. It doesn't have much dialogue. It's mostly an action-based script, but it's more about thoughts and feelings and about grief. And I wanted to like bring that out onto the screen. So yeah.
How often do you like write any scripts, if you do, or it's your like first script?
I've written a script before. Okay, you guys are gonna laugh at this for me, but that one was called Unspoken.
Okay. What's gonna be next?
Yes,
Unwritten.
I'm gonna do Yeah, you want to guess what the next one's gonna be, Renat?
I don't know, but there's like unwritten, unscripted, right? What's second?
No, unspoken. That was unspoken. Yeah. But that was the only other script that I've written, and it was for another friend. But I don't write scripts that often. I write songs, but I kind of think that it's almost the same thing because you're putting your thoughts and feelings onto paper, and when you put pen to paper, it can be in any form. It can be poetry, it can be prose, it can be a song, it can be a film script. But what comes out is a creative piece of work that you can then make into a movie or you make it into a song, like so. And I hope like after this, I am motivated to write more scripts and 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 mostly scripts that aren't entirely personal, but also a little bit from a third person point of view. More creative ideas, like explore that side of me because I don't think I've done that yet.
What directors influenced on your movie? If there's any. Which directors influenced on your either documentary or narrative?
Well, great question. Well, I don't think I took influence from maybe from my documentary. I took influence from like movies like Kana Satake, which dealt with a very like a hardcore newsy topic, right? And the way it was filmed was like action footage, just like letting the camera um, do its thing, And I think also for sure, Don't Look Back. Oh my God, Pennebaker, yeah. His style of like trying to let the camera be that one thing that captures everything. Like just let the camera be there and just capture whatever's happening in front of it without really influencing, or without doing anything to it. So I wanted it to feel like that because I wanted it to feel real and truthful. So I think those would be my influences for my documentary. But for my narrative, it came from a couple of different places. Like I took influences from movies like
I'm ready to listen.
Now I'm blanking out. Perfect time to blank out. Like this movie, I've talked about a million times. And Renat was my DP, director of photography, and yeah, movies like Lost in Translation for sure. And movies like Her and
Patterson?
Into the Wild and what's the major one?
Patterson. Yes.
Yeah, Patterson. That one was like I was obsessed with it, and I'm sure like so was Renat. And Renat had some ideas of his own, like um, filmmakers like Wong Kar-wai who use beautiful composition in their work, and low frame rate, which actually I really like the way it worked out in the film. So these are some of the influences that were behind my film.
So if you had a chance to reshoot or add something to your movie, either one of them, which would you do anything?
Or like change your DP, like would you do it?
Yes, I would totally change it. No,
you would have chosen me, right?
I would have totally chosen Kailee. No, no. I've had the good fortune and the happy memory of working with both Kailee and Renat. Kailee was my grip and gaffer for my documentary, and she did a fantastic job on the lighting. Like I wanted like dramatic lighting for the interviews, and it was there. Like, and anyone who watches the documentary always asks me who did the lighting because it's so crazy. It's amazing.
Are you sure you're talking about Kailee?
Why, you want all the credit, Renat?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so Renat was my director of photography. And yes, I will tell, we had a lot of, I felt like from the beginning we were on the same wavelength. Like when it comes to the ideas and the composition and the way that we wanted to. I feel like even while storyboarding, we liked each other's ideas. And sure, on set, like there were a lot of ideas a lot of shots that were taken out, but I'm very thankful for that because I would have had a really tough time editing if those shots had been there. And Renat found like a way to make a lot of shots jumbled together into like one shot. And I think that's the real skill that you have. And I really enjoyed watching you work that way. So I think it turned out really well. And maybe one or two shots that I might like, one or two inserts or pickup shots that I might have wanted. And there's a whole bus scene that was in my script that had to be cut out only because of unwarranted circumstances. But otherwise, looking at the product and the way the film has turned out right now, I don't think there's anything that I would go back and change particularly. Because I think at the end of the day, despite problems or misunderstandings or whatever, everything just came together in a really good way, in a really positive way. And that's something that I'll take away from it. So yeah. And that's like all points to having good crews as well. So yeah.
Just like some insights of shoot this movie, right? So we had like 3 day production block, and it was the coldest day like in a year. It was minus 17, and 2 out of 3 days were like outside. And this character keep walking and walking, and we were like thinking, why she just doesn't take Uber? Like it would be much warmer.
Well, my intention was to torture my casting crew. I really wanted them to feel the pain. No, it was um, true. Like I feel it was needed though, and only because it was difficult. I'll admit because we had multiple locations, and most of these locations were outdoors. But also, that's the only way we could get the grief part of the character in a very mise en scene way into the movie. Like the cold and the snow made it really, really depressing. I think that had a direct impact on the moods of the cast and crew. But all that aside, when we were working, we were super professional. Everyone's effort was in it 100%. Although, like, when you call cut, you can be like, oh, so cold. Oh my God. Like, that's totally normal and it's totally human. I was crying at one point too. So, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. But I honestly felt like a very professional film set to me. We had a whole transport system going where we carried the video village and everything from one location to another. So I think it was a well-oiled machine at the end of the day. Say what you will or not, but I had fun in the film.
No, I want to say like I think like I've been like each of us have been like on 5 production blocks, right, Kelly?
Sorry?
Was each of us have been like on 5 production blocks, right? I think.
Yeah.
And for me, like I think I remember for me, shoot is one like one of the moments was I think the most memorable. Like when like we were almost done, and we had like a 10-minute break, and like I remember it was Cosmo was playing on guitar, Shruti was singing. Um, I was getting massage from Tony, and I was talking to Sarah. And like for me, this memory is probably like I think the best. So it was really good production for sure.
It was intense because it was not intense. Like it was fun because we were far from being done. It was like 10 p.m. or something, and our shoot, for your information, the last day went on until 2 a.m. So it was like far from being done, but still like that 15-minute break was needed. Otherwise, I think everyone would have given up. But no one gave up till the very end, and that's the cool thing, like about having a good crew. So yeah.
What was your most memorable?
So, what are your favorite memories from for other sets that you were on as well?
Yeah, from the thing with feathers, I hands down have my favorite memory frozen is I remember on was it the last day? It was the last day when we went. You remember we went to Nam's house and Bayan's house, and they told us the day before when we had gone for like just to check their for location scout, and then they told us, "Would you like some tea when you come for the interview?" And I was like, "Sure, tea would be nice." And I was like, "Yeah, I had in my tea and biscuits." And we went for the interview. We interviewed Bayan and we interviewed Nam, and then they were like, "Okay, so Nam." No, we interviewed Nam first, and then we went to Bayan's house. And then we went back to Nam's place, and they had like this huge Middle Eastern meal prepared for us, like for the entire cast. And it was insane because it wasn't like one or two items; it was multiple items. We were talking. it was a whole food course to me. It was starters, like appetizers, main, and then even dessert and tea after.
Yeah.
Like I can't even tell you, they were the most hospitable, the most accommodating, the best subject that we could ask for, and I think that was so amazing because for a moment it felt like a lot of us are staying away from family, and we're here in Canada, so it felt like we were in a home away from home. We were eating with this with a strange family. Like we didn't even know them. Not strange. Like I mean, like we just got to know them, right? Like they just became our friends, and then we're just having food with them, and it just felt like it felt nostalgic, and it felt like we were home. At least that's how it felt for me. And I know that no one else had any inhibitions or anything like that because everyone was just having fun, sharing food, and enjoying. We even like hung out after watching sports games or whatever. Like, that was, I think, hands down my favorite moment from our shoot. The thing with feathers, and I'm sure Kailee can attest to that as well because did you enjoy the food?
So good. Yeah.
You know, like it was insane, and I don't know, yeah. And from Unwritten, there were a couple of moments only because it was a bigger crew, and you know, like everyone, everyone, everyone was fun about it. You know, like between set, people would just crack jokes, and everything was light and breezy. Um, but my favorite one would obviously be the one that you talked about, like when everyone was just like chilling and relaxing and just having fun without thinking about what's next. Although what's next was like another 4 or 5 hours of shooting, no one knew what was coming. We were just sitting and having fun and just like chilling, you know. But chilling during filming, you know, that's always fun. Yeah, that's a good memory.
What about on like other sets that you were on?
On other sets, oh my god, I enjoyed Renat's set a lot. Like just um, being like there was a point when everyone was so burnt out. We were all just sleeping on the floor, just spread out. I remember I was on a chair. Ethan was on the floor. Alia was on the floor. There was Charles and one of the other actors on the floor. I think it was on the floor. Like everyone was just dead, and it was a beautiful moment to me. It's like we're dead, but we're dead together. You know, it was. And also another favorite moment I think would be Renat from Renat's set. Just recreating the lighting was a lot of fun for me. I had tons of fun lighting on your set, dude. Like it was so much fun. Um, and other sets, Ethan's set was so much fun as well. Um, was camera assistant on Ethan's set, and the crew had such a cool light going, you know, and you know, again, cracking jokes, just having fun. I had we were shooting at that. I forgot what the place was called. That little bar. No, no, not Molly Beans. It was, sorry, my memory's so bad. But then after filming, we go to the bar, and Antonio and I were like having food. And then Charlie was supposed to come over to visit, but he went to the wrong part of the bar and he just left thinking the film had ended. But we were all still there. Like I think that was a really funny moment for me. I remember like laughing about it for a while. And then I was also on race set as supervisor, and I can tell you we had some pretty shady behind the scenes. We did some really cool stuff, right, Kayla?
Like when you chug chocolate syrup bottle.
I was totally talking about the chocolate syrup. I drank straight out of that bottle. And race set, we had the food was a prop on race set. We had like cakes with like cream on it and stuff. And there wasn't a moment when I didn't go and like eat the cream. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun memories to have. Won't forget.
Yeah.
What about challenges? What was the biggest challenge in each of your movies?
For me, for my documentary, it was such a long time ago. It's so difficult. I think the initial challenges that we faced, only because it was the first production that we were doing, first professional production, right? Was sticking to your own rules as a crew. That was the first thing that we ever did on day one. That was a challenge. Was that everyone wanted to help each other out because you just have this tendency to help the other person, right? So Kaylee was doing light, I was director, Krishna was camera, Danielle was on audio, and Rishabh was producer. And we were literally not doing our jobs. We were trying to help other people. So I would try to help Kaylee with lights, and then uh, I would try to help Vishnu with the camera, or Rishabh would try to help with the audio. So it's like everyone was trying to help each other. But when we started doing our own role, it contributed better to the entire production. Because when one person knows what they're doing and they're taking charge of it, it works better that way. It becomes a well-oiled machine because everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Unless you need help and you ask for help, that's a different thing. But I think the challenge was trying to figure out that dynamic and find that balance, that work balance that you have. That was, I think, the biggest takeaway from the thing with Feather. And with Unwritten, mostly my challenges were with. It started with pre-production because I feel like I could have been more prepared with pre-production, and only because I had so many locations and so many things to sort out, and Vishnu and I were doing our best. But I had given a little bit more focus to the creative side of things, and I feel like the shoot wouldn't have gone as long as it did on the third day, and we would have still gotten all the shots that we wanted. And yeah, and definitely other challenges were like um, working despite the weather conditions or circumstances. Like you have to put all that aside, any physical difficulty, you have to like work, right? That was professionalism. You learned that on set, and also like working with different people, with different ideas and thoughts, and finding a way to incorporate all of that into the film because I wanted it to be a very friendly set. I didn't want like any, you know. So we did. I was open to other ideas and suggestions and things like that. So it's a lot of things, and at the end of the day, it's all about problem solving. So I'm glad the way it turned out, and that we were able to overcome these challenges. And there were definitely a lot of lessons to take away from it. For me, being a director was a challenge. I could have been more creative.
Oh, for us too. Don't worry.
But yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I honestly
Go
like.
on.
I think Shruti was one of the best directors with whom I work, and I really enjoy like collaboration with her. I just want to say maybe shout out to Adam because so we work like out of 2 out of 3 days we work in -16 and work like 12 hours each day, and second day like Adam brought us lots of hot chocolates and hot pockets, and I think without it we wouldn't survive, that's for sure.
Oh my God, yes. We would have been dead after the first scene. It was for sure, yeah. Shout out to Adam. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Awesome.
If you had the opportunity to make a full-length version of either of these films, would you do it?
I think Renat has already. What do you think, Renat?
I'm sure you will. I'm just curious if you would make it more than like 2 hours full length movie. It could be like 3 hours or 4 hours.
Like it's already. It's like, yeah. I'm sure if I take all the footage that I have and put it in there, it will become a full length film. Because that's how much we had filmed, and that's how much. When I was color correcting, I realized I had close to 100 shots. Okay, which is like a lot for a short film. And how much did you have, Renat? Like, I just want to like.
I had like 16
like,
probably. 16 shots compared to like 100 shots of Shrutis. But.
And what about you, Kailee? Like, just. Curious.
I don't remember. I know, like, I saw at least 40.
Yeah. See, like, that's normal. That's perhaps one of the other reasons why I found editing to be such a long and dragging process, because I had so many shots to like try and rearrange and cut together, and they were just so, again, like, Renat, this is your fault. And also the crew's fault for helping me film such amazing shots, because I wanted all of them in there. So like the shots that didn't make it into the movie, I put it in the trailer. So I was being a little selfish like that, but you gotta do what's best for your film. And if I got the opportunity to make a feature length of those films, I would have the same crew and I would do it.
I think it was like actually like good point to do like so many shots because when I was editing mine, I was thinking, man, I wish I would have more shots, you know.
No, really?
I thought it like trust me.
Okay. I'll believe you.
So, what are your plans for the future?
Well, are you talking about what I'm gonna do after this call, or? Because I think like right now that's the future that I know what I'm gonna do with it. Because you see, I have my quarantine set up here, a bed, the computer. I just like sit down, watch movies all day. Really clear. No, my future. Um, I've never been a person to think like like years ahead. So if someone were to ask me, where do you see yourself 2 years from now, or even a year from now, I would be like, dude, no idea. Like, because I don't know what's coming, right? But where I would ideally like to be, ideally, in an ideal world where things work out, is that I would like to be doing something in the film industry. And this is how vague I'm being, is because I don't even know what I'll be doing. But it could be anything, but I just want to be in the film industry. I want to be working on set, on production, and eventually, and now we're talking big picture, is direct my own film, like a feature length film that many people get to see. And I believe that AFM and doing the course and making these films has been such a good experience for me because it's made me believe that, and I'm sure like all of you guys as well, who you guys directed your own films as well, and I'm sure it has given you some sort of conviction that you can do this, in the future, and you do have the capability to write a script, to lead a crew, or to be a director of photography, or like things that you realize that you have capabilities that you never even put to test, right? So, and that's the amazing thing about this whole process and this whole experience. So, it's given me a bit of hope. The thing with feathers, hope. By the way, the thing with feathers means it's actually from an Emily Dickinson poem. It goes like this: the first line is, "Hope is the thing with feathers." So the thing with feathers literally means hope. So I have that thing with feathers that one day that I could write my own film. I don't know. Could be a documentary, could be a narrative, but it's coming. Watch out.
Do you have any idea about like your next movie, like, or you're open for ideas?
I would love to personally like collaborate with people for my next film. Like, I want to work on a good script. I don't think I've really written a dialogue-driven script, and I do have ideas, but I find it always difficult to write a script on my own because I believe that I haven't had enough human interaction to write dialogue. So I don't know. Like, I'm open to collaborating with you, Kaylee, or you, Renat, or just with anybody. Shut up! You want to collab with me? And I don't know. We can make some magic happen. Just that's a really weird way to do that. No, yeah, we can for sure, yeah. And quarantine, I feel is such a it's so boring, but also it's such an opportunity to like try out things that you maybe wanted to try out during your own production, or make I don't know, a short film, something experimental. I have a DSLR. I'm sure we all have something, a phone or something. Let's whip it out and film something. So, yo, you want to make a documentary about how to COVID thing? I'd be down for that. Like, just do the whole fly on the wall, take the phone, like, don't go on the budget for film.
So now you have an idea.
I have an idea. We have crew. Just saying, anyone can sign up.
If you could say something to anyone that wants to make their own film, what would you say to them? Like a piece of advice or anything?
Sorry, say something to do. Sorry, I didn't know.
To someone who wants to make their own film.
I would say believe in yourself, in your story, because more than anything, you need to have that belief and that trust that you can do it, and that your story is good enough and it's worthy, and it's and it'll get the support that it needs to times during during my documentary or during the narrative where I had moments of self-doubt where I was like, am I gonna pull through? Is this gonna happen? Will it look the way that I want it to look? Is this really a good idea? But at the end of the day, you just have to keep pushing and keep going and just fall into that process. Just let it take you. Pre-production, production, post-production. Just like ride that wave. Do it, but do it with utter belief in your story and in your ideas. Don't ever lose that.
I think that's some great advice. Is there anything else you want to say about your film? Are we in?
Well, watch out for an original song. It's pretty cool. At the end of the film, during the credits, playing a ukulele, and my actors did a great job. It's just like a huge shout out to my entire crew of thank yous. My crew from the documentary, Kailee, Vishnu, Danielle, Rishab, you guys are awesome. The cast, Kay, Naam, Hadil, and Bayan are such gems, and they're doing something amazing for the community, which everyone needs to hear. So they're amazing. And my narrative cast and crew are flowingly amazing. Renat, what up? Aniket, who is camera assistant, and then Cosmo, script supervisor and transport, and then shout out to Sarah, DP, and second AD, Vishnu, who's my producer, and oh my God, who else? Amanda, who's Gaffer Grip, and Tony, who did sound, and Daria, who did sound, and also post, like audio post, amazing work. Like, I'm telling you, your film is not without a good crew. that would, if I had to give other advice, I would do it. So believe in your crew as well. Not if you believe in yourself. So yeah.
All right.
Cool. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say, you guys? Renat?
I have only one memory. Like one of the scenes when we filmed was like in a cemetery. And so we park a car. We park our cars. Sarah parked her car, and in the middle of a cemetery, I look at her car, and it's written on a window: "Journey is the destination." I found it like I even like took a picture of it.
Oh my God! Why didn't that make it onto the production stuff? It's awesome. Yeah, journey is the destination. I think it's the perfect way to like put it. Yeah. What about you, Kay? Like, did you have any memories that you took away from our documentary set that you want to share?
It was just like a really fun experience for them to work with like all you guys and the people we interviewed. They were so nice.
And also, I should point out, like, I worked with Kailee on her film on her documentary, which was heaps of fun. It was about bunnies, and we just had so much fun just going and filming all these people. It was pretty bad, but it's still it's still a great experience. So both great people to crew with.
I just want to say like the last thing, like with so two of Shruti's movie got selected, Things with Fevers and Unwritten, but I think she's one student who could actually get 3 movies, right? Like she has like and you guys were on the same crew, right? Like for Mini Doc. It was very like emotional movie, and I recommend you guys to watch it. Just remind me what was the name and if like where we can see it.
Right, it's called Warrior Wind. The thing is, I'm gonna try and do another cut of it if I can, but I'll upload it on video and maybe like send the link to you guys. Because it was our mini talk, and I think again it's such a story that people need to hear. I feel like there's a lot more that we could have made it longer, but for a mini doc, it was pretty emotional. So, and we had a good time working on it too, like Kailee and I. me, Kaylee, and Vishnu are like the trifecta. We've been on every single production together throughout all the blocks. Not every single production, like we've been in a production together on every block that we filmed. So that was pretty cool. But yeah.
Can you just remind me
that's
how many
what it is.
minutes it's supposed to be and how many minutes your mini doc was?
It was like supposed to be like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes. We made it like 7 or 8. Originally we had it as like 15 or something.
Yeah, originally we had it really long, but we cut out so much, and that was that was insane. And I think that after having that editing experience, that was the first time I actually enjoyed post production. Was editing with Kaylee. Like it was so much fun. I loved it.
Till 6 a.m.
Yeah, till 6 a.m. and then we logged out and went said hi to the the cleaners.
Was it the time when Kailee you were sick and you really like worked like every night there, right? Was it, or it was different movie?
What, sorry?
I was sick during the movie doc.
Yeah, she was sick. She was sick, but she got like the whole sick shit. Oh my god. She got like cough syrup, she got medicine, she got food, like orange juice. I remember there were cartons of orange juice. Like vitamins, like I need my vitamins. But it was still like, we still put it through, it doesn't matter. Takes me back to other stuff like the 48-hour film challenge. Yo, also because of this course, I literally forget what sleep means. Because I find it so hard to fall asleep. But can anyone else relate? I think this is a job, though, like that's how it's kind of going to be in the industry.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
So, anything else?
I don't know, you guys. Anything else? Or we can...
I think that's it.
Look forward to watching your films next week.
Yeah, guys, don't miss it.
Hope people like it and it gets response, positive response, critical response, everything. So yeah, hope it's great.
Yeah, right.
Others.
Next Thursday at 7 p.m.
Enjoy, guys.
Yes. Cool.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.